And we're back with another episode of the Becca B Show. Last time we were together, we talked about the Bible and how it does not contain errors or contradict itself. But I wanted to look at another topic that sometimes people struggle with, and that's the idea of God having to be created. As Christians, we believe that God created everything, but sometimes people have the question, who created God? So let's look at that idea, and we're going to look at 3 ways people pose this question. The first one is, if everything that begins needs a beginner, then so does God. The answer is fairly simple to this one. God never began, so he does not need a beginner. I'm going to say that one more time. God never began, so he doesn't need a beginner. The God we serve is everlasting. In Isaiah chapter 40, verse 28, it says, "Have you not known? Have you not heard? The Lord is the everlasting God. He does not faint or grow weary. His understanding is unsearchable." And to be perfectly clear about what the word everlasting means, I thought we would consult Webster. Everlasting, never coming to an end, lasting forever, eternal. Eternal means lasting or existing forever, without beginning or end. You see, that's kind of a hard concept for us to grasp as humans because the things we know of have a life cycle. They begin, they live, they die. There's definitive beginning and ending. But God was primordial. He has always existed before everything else. There was no beginning of God, so he does not need a beginner. On to the next one. If every effect has a cause, then God has to have a cause. Well, God isn't the effect of anything. Nothing caused God. We discussed that God is eternal and everlasting. He existed before everything, so nothing caused God. He was actually the cause of everything. On to the last one. If God created everything, something or someone had to create God. Well, we've already come to the conclusion that God is eternal and everlasting. He had no beginning, and nothing caused God to come into existence. So he does not have a creator. Instead, he is the creator of all. In Romans 1, 19 through 20, it says, "For what can be known about God is plain to them, because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world, in the things that have been made." See, if you look at the world around you, you'll come to the conclusion that an eternal, all-powerful, intelligent being created this all. Now, some of you watching may have an issue with that statement, but let me explain. We all know that the universe began at some point, and using logic, because it began, it had a beginner. And since the universe had a beginning, it had a cause. So the question arises, what was the cause of our universe? And there are 3 major beliefs that people have, either nothing, an abstract, or God. So let's look at nothing. Well, I think we can easily rule that out because nothing can come from nothing. I mean, it's nothing. Let's look at the definition just to double check. Well, this is awkward. No thing, not anything. Lack of existence, non-existence, nothingness. It even says insignificance and unimportance. So yeah, nothing's not an option. The second option would be an abstract. I'm going to let the debunk video speak on this one.
So what about an abstract something? Say like the number 4. Well, last I checked, the number 4 can't talk, can't eat, can't think, can't do much of anything.
As you can see, an abstract cannot create or do anything for that matter. So that leaves us with a creator or a being. And if you think about a creator having to create all of this, you would give them the attributes of being all-powerful and eternal. And funnily enough, the Bible speaks of being who's just like that. You see, God is eternal and everlasting. He had no beginning and he has no end. He is all-powerful and all-knowing. And Revelation 22:13 says, I am the Alpha, the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. You see, God created all of this, you, me, our universe, and not only did he create us, but he wants a relationship with us. And if we put our trust in him and if we believe in him, we can have everlasting, eternal life with him in heaven. Becca B, out.